Dr. Lisa Harper wiped sweat from her forehead as she studied the ancient stone tablet. The symbols carved into the rock were older than human civilization. She had spent 3 months on this remote planet trying to understand what they meant. The work was slow but exciting. The research station on Keth 7 was small but comfortable. Lisa shared it with 12 alien researchers from different species. There was Captain Veltar, a tall Zilani with a hard shell covering his body. The Zilani looked like giant insects but were gentle and smart. Then there were 3 Morvek, small creatures no bigger than house cats, but with huge brains. They could solve math problems faster than computers. The strangest were 2 Thurlin, beings made of gas who lived inside special suits. All of these aliens were peaceful. They had never fought wars like humans did. Their planets were safe and calm. They studied old ruins and shared knowledge with each other. Lisa sometimes felt like the only dangerous thing on the entire research station. The morning started like any other. Lisa was drinking coffee and reading reports when the alarms began to sound. Red lights flashed everywhere. Captain Veltar's voice came over the speakers, but his usual calm was gone. Fear filled every word. All staff report to the main hall, immediately. This is not a drill. Lisa ran through the metal corridors. Her heart was beating fast. She had never heard Veltar sound scared before. The main hall was full of worried aliens, their different languages mixed together in a buzz of panic. Veltar stood at the front of the room. His shell was darker than usual, which meant he was very afraid. Behind him, a large screen showed space around their planet. Lisa saw something that made her blood turn cold. Ships. Hundreds of them. They were big and black with sharp edges. They looked like weapons floating in space. Lisa had seen pictures of ships like these before. They belonged to the Korthak Dominion. The Korthak fleet has entered our system, Veltar said. His voice shook. They will reach us in 6 hours. The room went silent. Everyone knew about the Korthak. They were the worst thing in the galaxy. They were huge reptile-like creatures who lived only to fight and conquer. They took prisoners as slaves and destroyed entire worlds for fun. No species had ever beaten them in battle. One of the Morvek spoke up. His tiny voice was full of fear. Have you sent a distress call? Yes, Veltar replied. I have contacted all Federation worlds. The closest military ships are 3 weeks away. We will not last 3 hours against the Korthak. Lisa felt sick. She thought about her family back on Earth. She would never see them again. The Korthak did not show mercy. They would kill some researchers and take the rest as slaves. Both options were terrible. What about the escape pods? Asked one of the Thurlin. They are too slow, Veltar said. The Korthak will catch us before we reach the next system. Lisa watched her alien friends panic. Some were crying. Others were praying to their gods. All of them had given up hope. But Lisa was human. Humans did not give up easily. Wait, she said. Everyone looked at her. What about Earth? The room became very quiet. All the aliens stared at Lisa with wide eyes. She could see fear in their faces, but now it was fear of her, not the Korthak. Lisa, Veltar said slowly, humans are, your people are, dangerous, finished one of the Morvek. Your species comes from a death world. You are predators. Lisa felt angry. Yes, we are dangerous. That is exactly why you should call us for help. The aliens looked at each other. They were scared of humans almost as much as they feared the Korthak. Earth was famous throughout the galaxy as the most dangerous planet anyone had ever found. Everything there tried to kill everything else. The weather could kill, the animals could kill, even the plants could kill. Somehow, humans had survived and become the top hunters on their world. Most aliens thought humans were barely controlled monsters. They traded with Earth because human technology was good, but they always kept their distance. Space stations had special rules about how many humans could visit at one time. The Korthak are coming to kill us all, Lisa said. You can sit here and wait to die. Or you can call the one species in the galaxy that might actually fight them and win. Veltar's shell turned an even darker color. Lisa, if we call Earth, and if humans come here, How do we know they will not just take this planet for themselves? Because I am here, Lisa said. I am human. They will come for me. The debate went on for an hour. The aliens were terrified of both options. The Korthak would definitely kill or enslave them. But humans might do the same thing. Lisa tried to explain that her people were not monsters, but she knew the aliens had good reason to be scared. Human history was full of violence. In the end, fear of the Korthak won. As the alien fleet got closer, Veltar agreed to send a message to Earth. Lisa helped him record it. This is Dr. Lisa Harper, Earth citizen, requesting immediate assistance. Korthak forces have invaded Keth 7. Civilian researchers under attack. Coordinates attached. Please, anyone who receives this, help us. They sent the message using the most powerful transmitter on the station. It would take 2 days to reach Earth. The Korthak would arrive in 4 hours. Lisa sat in her room and waited. Outside her window, she could see the black shapes getting bigger in the sky. Soon, the bombardment would begin. The research station would not last long against Korthak weapons. She thought about her message traveling through space toward Earth. Would anyone receive it? Would they care about one human researcher on a distant planet? Would they come in time? Thadiu. First explosions lit up the sky like fireworks. The Korthak had arrived. Admiral Jake Morrison was drinking his morning coffee when the message arrived. The communication officer on Luna Command looked nervous as she handed him the data pad. Jake had been in charge of Earth's space defense for 10 years. He had seen many strange things, but this message made him pause. A distress call from the Keth 7 system, sir, the officer said. One of our citizens is trapped there with alien researchers. Korthak attack in progress. Jake played the message 3 times. Dr. Lisa Harper's voice was calm, but he could hear the fear underneath. The Korthak Dominion was no joke. They were the reason Earth had built such a strong military. Everyone knew that sooner or later the Korthak would come for human space. Get me the Security Council, Jake ordered. Emergency meeting in 1 hour. The council meeting was loud and angry. 20 officials sat around a metal table, all talking at once. Some wanted to help Dr. Harper. Others said it was too dangerous. A few suggested that one human life was not worth starting a war. The Korthak have over 200 ships at Keth 7, said General Bob Hayes. We would need to send our entire fleet to have any chance of winning. That would leave Earth defenseless. We cannot abandon our own people, argued Colonel Amy Richards. She was in charge of the Terran Strike Force, Earth's most elite soldiers. Dr. Harper is a citizen. We have a duty to protect her. What about the bigger picture? Asked another general. If we attack the Korthak now, they will bring their full fleet to Earth. We are not ready for that kind of war. Jake listened to the arguments for 2 hours. The debate was getting nowhere. Finally, he stood up and everyone went quiet. How long would it take our fastest ship to reach Keth 7? He asked. The Iron Vengeance could make it in 5 days, Colonel Richards replied. But sir, one ship against a Korthak fleet is suicide. Jake smiled. It was not a nice smile. Colonel, your people are not normal soldiers. They are hunters from the most dangerous world in the galaxy. Maybe it is time the Korthak learned what that means. Colonel Richards looked excited. Are you authorizing a rescue mission, sir? I am authorizing more than that, Jake said. The Korthak think we are weak because we stay hidden in our own space. Dr. Harper's message gives us a chance to send a different message. Show them what happens when they threaten humans. The Iron Vengeance was Earth's newest warship. It was built using technology that other species thought was impossible. The ship could travel faster than anything else in the galaxy. It had weapons that could destroy entire fleets. Most importantly, it was crewed by the deadliest soldiers Earth had ever trained. Major Rick Stone was the mission commander. He had fought in every major conflict on Earth. He had survived battles in the Amazon jungle, the Sahara Desert, and the frozen wasteland of Antarctica. His soldiers called him the Ghost because he could kill enemies without making a sound. Lieutenant Kate Williams was the intelligence officer. She was small and quiet, but her mind was like a computer. She could hack any system and break any code. She had studied every known alien language and could speak most of them perfectly. The crew of 40 soldiers had been chosen from the best units on Earth. They were Marines, Army Rangers, Navy SEALs, and Special Forces. Each one had survived training that would kill normal humans. They had learned to fight in every environment Earth could offer. As the Iron Vengeance prepared to leave Luna orbit, Rick briefed his team. The soldiers sat in the ship's briefing room, cleaning their weapons and checking their gear. Their faces were painted with skull designs that had become their trademark. "The mission is simple," Rick said. "Get to Keth 7, rescue Dr. Harper and any survivors, then show the Korthak why they should fear humans." "Rules of engagement?" asked Sergeant Dan Cooper. Rick's smile was cold. "There are no rules. These aliens have never seen real warfare. They think combat is about honor and fair fighting. We are going to teach them what predators really do." The soldiers nodded. They understood. This was not just a rescue mission. It was a chance to remind the galaxy why humans were called Deathworlders. Kate Williams studied intelligence reports about the Korthak. They were big and strong, with natural armor covering their bodies. They fought with heavy weapons and relied on their size to intimidate enemies. But they had never faced anything like humans. "They have no experience fighting smaller, faster opponents," Kate reported. "Their tactics are based on overwhelming force. They do not expect stealth attacks or psychological warfare." "Perfect," Rick said. "We will give them an education they will never forget." The Iron Vengeance jumped to faster-than-light speed. The journey to Keth 7 would take 5 days. The crew used that time to prepare for battle. They studied the layout of Korthak ships. They practiced boarding actions and hostage rescues. They prepared weapons and equipment that most species had never seen. On Earth, Admiral Morrison watched the ship disappear into hyperspace. He had made a difficult choice. If the mission failed, Dr. Harper would die, and Earth would have revealed its military capabilities for nothing. But if it succeeded, the galaxy would learn that humans were not helpless prey. In his private office, Morrison looked at classified reports about Korthak expansion. The alien empire was growing larger every year. They had conquered 17 species in the past decade. Intelligence suggested they were planning to attack human space within 5 years. Maybe it was better to fight them now on humanity's terms, rather than wait for them to choose the time and place of battle. Meanwhile, on Keth 7, Dr. Harper and the surviving researchers huddled in their prison cells. The Korthak had captured the research station after a short battle. Most of the aliens were dead. The survivors were locked up, waiting to be taken as slaves. The Korthak guards were huge creatures, twice as tall as humans. Their skin looked like green leather armor. They had sharp teeth and claws that could tear metal. They enjoyed frightening their prisoners and often threatened to eat them. Lisa tried to keep the other prisoners calm. Captain Veltar was badly injured from the battle. The 3 surviving Morvek were so scared they could barely speak. One of the Thurlin had damaged his containment suit and was slowly dying. "Do you think your people received the message?" "Veltar?" asked Lisa. Lisa looked out through the bars of their cell. In the distance, she could see Korthak soldiers loading stolen research equipment onto their ships. They were taking everything of value and would destroy the rest. "If they got the message, they will come," she said. "But will they arrive in time?" Veltar whispered. Lisa did not answer. She was thinking about the Iron Vengeance and the soldiers who crewed it. If any humans in the galaxy could fight the Korthak and win, it would be them. But first, they had to get here before the aliens decided to kill their prisoners. The Iron Vengeance arrived at the edge of the Keth 7 system like a ghost in the night. The ship's advanced stealth systems made it invisible to Korthak sensors. Major Rick Stone stood on the bridge, studying the enemy fleet through the view screen. 200 Korthak warships surrounded the planet. They were massive vessels, built for overwhelming firepower rather than speed or stealth. Each ship was 3 times larger than the Iron Vengeance. In a normal battle, 1 human ship against 200 alien warships would be hopeless. But this would not be a normal battle. "Lieutenant Williams, begin Phase 1, Rick ordered. Kate Williams smiled as her fingers danced over the computer controls. She had spent years studying alien technology. The Korthak used simple, brutal systems that were easy to hack if you knew how. Within minutes, she had access to their communication networks. "I'm in their system, sir," Kate reported. "Uploading the psychological warfare package now." Throughout the Korthak fleet, computer screens began showing videos of human soldiers in combat. The aliens watched footage of humans fighting in Earth's deadliest environments. They saw soldiers surviving in boiling deserts, frozen mountains, and poisonous jungles. They watched humans hunt predators that could kill with a single bite. The videos showed humans doing impossible things. Soldiers who kept fighting with broken bones. Warriors who showed no pain when wounded. Hunters who tracked their prey for days without rest. The footage was designed to plant one simple idea in alien minds. Humans were not normal prey animals. Captain Groktar of the Korthak flagship watched the videos with growing confusion. His species had conquered dozens of worlds. They had never seen anything like this. Most aliens surrendered when they saw Korthak ships. These humans seemed to enjoy fighting. "Where are these images coming from?" Groktar demanded. "Unknown, Captain," his communications officer replied. "They appeared in our system without warning. Our security protocols show no signs of intrusion." The fact that humans could hack their systems so easily was almost as frightening as the videos themselves. The Korthak prided themselves on their technology. If humans could break their codes without being detected, what else could they do? While Kate worked her electronic magic, Rick prepared his assault teams. The Iron Vengeance carried 40 of Earth's deadliest soldiers. They wore black armor covered with skull designs. Their faces were painted to look like death itself. Every piece of equipment had been designed for one purpose: killing. "Remember," Rick told his teams, "we are not just rescuing prisoners. We are sending a message. Every Korthak who survives this battle will carry stories of human warfare back to their empire. Make sure those stories are terrifying." The soldiers checked their weapons one final time. They carried firearms that fired. Explosive rounds, knives made from materials that could cut through alien armor, and devices that most species had never imagined. Each soldier was a walking nightmare designed by evolution's cruelest planet. Rick's team would infiltrate the Korthak flagship to rescue Dr. Harper. Kate's team would target the command ships to create chaos in the fleet. The remaining soldiers would spread throughout the enemy formation, striking terror into alien hearts. The assault began with silence and shadows. Human soldiers used personal cloaking devices to board Korthak ships without being seen. The aliens had no defense against opponents they could not detect. Guards simply vanished from their posts. Entire sections of ships went dark with no explanation. On the flagship, Rick and his team moved through the corridors like ghosts. They had studied the ship's layout during the journey from Earth. Every door, every corridor, every ventilation shaft was mapped in their minds. They knew exactly where the prisoners were held. The first Korthak guards died without knowing they were under attack. Rick's knife slid between the aliens' armor plates, finding the soft spots that hours of study had revealed. The creature fell, silently, its blood pooling on the metal floor. But Rick was not interested in quick, clean kills. The psychological impact was more important than efficiency. He left the body where other guards would find it, positioned to create maximum fear. Around the corpse, he scattered photographs of human military victories. Similar scenes played out across the Korthak fleet. Human soldiers appeared from nowhere, killed with surgical precision, then vanished before reinforcements could arrive. They left behind evidence of their presence, recordings of human battle cries, images of Earth's most dangerous predators, and messages written in alien blood. The psychological campaign worked better than expected. Korthak warriors, feared throughout the galaxy for their courage, began to panic. Reports flooded the command centers. Entire squads found dead with no sign of the attackers, security systems that showed nothing but somehow let enemies pass through, and strange sounds in the ventilation systems that might have been alien voices, or might have been something worse. Captain Groktar tried to maintain order, but his own officers were starting to question their situation. The Korthak had never fought an enemy like this. Their usual tactics of overwhelming force were useless against opponents they could not see or track. "Send out search teams," Groktar ordered. "Find these intruders and kill them." But the search teams that left the bridge never returned. Hours passed with no word from the patrols. When other guards went to investigate, they found bodies arranged in patterns that seemed designed to drive viewers insane. Some corpses were positioned to look like they had killed each other. Others showed signs of torture that exceeded even Korthak standards of cruelty. In the prison section of the flagship, Dr. Harper heard the sounds of battle growing closer. The alien researchers huddled together in their cell, terrified by the screams and explosions echoing through the ship. But Lisa felt a cold satisfaction. She recognized the sounds of human military operations. "What is happening?" Captain Veltar whispered. "Help is coming," Lisa replied. The Korthak guards were clearly nervous. They kept looking over their shoulders and jumping at every sound. One guard's hands shook so badly he could barely hold his weapon. These creatures had conquered dozens of worlds, but they had never faced predators from a death world. Rick's team reached the prison level after clearing 3 decks of enemy soldiers. Their black armor was now decorated with alien blood. Their skull-painted faces looked like death itself, walking through the ship's corridors. The final guard post was defended by 6 Korthak warriors in full combat armor. Under normal circumstances, 6 heavily armed aliens would be more than a match for 4 humans. But these were not normal circumstances. Rick's team attacked from 3 directions at once. They used weapons the Korthak had never seen. Adhesive, grenades that glued enemies to walls, sonic disruptors that caused intense pain without permanent damage, and neural scramblers that interfered with alien nervous systems. The battle was over in 30 seconds. The Korthak guards lay unconscious, or paralyzed on the floor. Rick stood over them, his weapon still smoking from the brief firefight. "Dr. Harper," he called out. "This is Major Stone, Terran Strike Force. We're here to take you home." Lisa felt tears of relief run down her face. The voice was calm and professional, but underneath she heard something that made her shiver. This was the voice of a predator, a killer from humanity's most violent world. The humans had come to rescue them. But looking at the blood-covered soldiers and the terror in the eyes of their alien captors, Lisa wondered if they had called for salvation or damnation. Major Rick Stone cut through the prison bars with a tool that melted alien metal like butter. Dr. Lisa Harper stepped out of her cell, followed by the surviving alien researchers. The human soldiers looked like demons in their black armor, their skull-painted faces showing no emotion. "Are you injured, Doctor?" Rick asked. His voice was calm and professional, but Lisa could see the cold calculation in his eyes. This was a man who had killed many times, and would kill many more before the day was over. "I'm fine," Lisa replied. She looked at her alien companions. Captain Veltar was badly wounded, barely able to walk. The 3 Morvek were so frightened, they could not speak. "But my friends need medical attention." Rick nodded to one of his soldiers, who immediately began treating Veltar's injuries. The medic worked with efficient skill, but the alien captain flinched away from the human's touch. Even wounded and helpless, Veltar was terrified of his rescuers. "The ship is not secure yet," Rick said to Lisa. "We need to move you to a safe location while we finish clearing the remaining Korthak forces." As they moved through the ship's corridors, Lisa saw the aftermath of the human assault. Bodies lay everywhere, positioned in ways that seemed designed to terrify anyone who found them. Some Korthak soldiers had been killed quickly and cleanly. Others showed signs of prolonged suffering. The walls were covered with messages written in alien blood. "Why did you do this?" Veltar whispered, staring at a particularly gruesome scene. Rick glanced back at the alien captain. "Psychological warfare. Every survivor will carry stories of this battle back to their empire. Fear is a weapon, Captain. Sometimes it works better than bullets." They reached a secured section of the ship where Lieutenant Kate Williams had set up a temporary command post. She was surrounded by computer screens showing different parts of the Korthak fleet. Her team had taken control of the enemy's communication systems and was using them to spread panic throughout the alien formation. "Status report," Rick ordered. 47 enemy ships have been disabled or destroyed," Kate replied. "The remaining vessels are trying to retreat, but our hunter-killer drones are tracking them. Estimated enemy casualties, 15,000 dead, 8,000 wounded." Lisa felt sick. In less than 6 hours, the humans had killed more Korthak soldiers than had died in most galactic wars. The efficiency of the slaughter was terrifying. "What about prisoners?" Rick asked. "We have captured 12 high-ranking officers," Kate said. "They are being prepared for interrogation." The alien researchers looked confused. Captain Veltar asked, "What kind of interrogation?" Kate smiled. It was not a pleasant expression. The kind that gets results. We need to know about Korthak military plans, fleet positions, and command structures. Our subjects will provide that information. You mean torture, Veltar said quietly. We mean effective intelligence gathering, Rick corrected. The methods we use are designed to break down mental resistance without causing permanent physical damage. Most species consider our techniques to be torture. We consider them to be necessary tools. Lisa watched her alien friends react to this casual discussion of torture. The Zalani, Morvek, and Thurlin were peaceful species. They had never encountered beings who spoke so calmly about inflicting pain for information. The humans were revealing themselves to be something far more dangerous than the aliens had imagined. Rick led them to an observation deck where they could see the battle raging outside. The Iron Vengeance was systematically destroying the Korthak fleet using weapons the aliens had never seen before. Laser beams that could cut through multiple ships at once, missiles that released clouds of metal-eating nanobots, energy weapons that seemed to ignore defensive shields. How is one ship defeating an entire fleet? One of the Morvek asked in a tiny, frightened voice. Superior technology and tactics, Kate replied. The Korthak fight like animals. They rely on size and strength. Humans fight like hunters. We use intelligence, planning, and tools. As they watched, a Korthak battleship tried to ram the Iron Vengeance. The human ship simply vanished, reappearing behind the alien vessel. Weapons fire tore the battleship apart in seconds. The explosion lit up space like a small sun. We call that a phase shift, Kate explained. Your species think faster than light travel can only be used between star systems. We learned how to use it in combat. The tactical advantage was overwhelming. The Korthak ships were designed for straightforward battles between large fleets. They had no defense against an enemy that could appear and disappear at will, strike from multiple directions simultaneously, and use weapons that ignored conventional armor and shields. But the physical battle was only part of the human strategy. Throughout the enemy fleet, captured Korthak officers were being subjected to interrogation techniques that broke their minds rather than their bodies. The humans used drugs, sonic torture, and psychological manipulation to extract information. The process was more effective than traditional torture because it left no obvious physical marks. Dr. Harper was allowed to observe one interrogation session. She watched through a one-way window as Kate Williams questioned a Korthak captain. The alien was strapped to a chair, but showed no signs of physical injury. Instead, his eyes were wide with terror and his body shook uncontrollably. Tell me about your fleet's next target, Kate said calmly. I cannot. The Korthak captain stammered. Kate pressed a button on her control panel. The alien screamed as sonic waves tuned to his nervous system caused intense pain throughout his body. The torture lasted only 3 seconds, but the captain collapsed in his chair, gasping for breath. The human colony at Rigel 7, he said quickly. We plan to attack in 6 months. How many ships? 500 vessels, the entire Third Fleet. Kate made notes on her computer. What are the defense capabilities of Rigel 7? Unknown. We have no intelligence about human military strength. You do now, Kate said with a cold smile. Lisa turned away from the window, feeling sick. The information was valuable, but the methods used to obtain it were horrifying. She began to understand why most alien species feared humans. Her people were capable of cruelty that exceeded even the Korthak. Captain Veltar was watching her carefully. "This is what your species calls rescue?" he asked. Lisa struggled to find an answer. The humans had saved them from death or slavery. But in doing so, they had revealed themselves to be predators of unimaginable efficiency. The galaxy would never look at humanity the same way again. "We called for help," she said finally. "We got exactly what we asked for." The battle outside was ending. Of the 200 Korthak ships that had attacked Keth 7, fewer than 30 remained. Those survivors were fleeing toward the edge of the system, pursued by human drones that would hunt them across the galaxy if necessary. Rick returned to the observation deck with news of their next move. "The area is secure," he reported. "We will transfer you to the Iron Vengeance for transport back to Federation space." "What about the surviving Korthak?" Veltar asked. "The ones we captured will be released after interrogation," Rick replied. They will carry word of this battle back to their empire. The ones who escaped will do the same. Within a month, every Korthak in the galaxy will know what happens when they threaten human citizens. As they prepared to leave the captured flagship, Lisa took one last look at the devastation around them. Thousands of alien warriors lay dead. Their mighty fleet had been reduced to scrap metal. The survivors would return to their homes carrying stories of human warfare that would terrify entire worlds. She had called Earth for help, and help had come. But the price of salvation was the galaxy's innocence. From this day forward, every species in known space would know that humans were not just dangerous, they were the apex predators of the universe. The Iron Vengeance moved through space like a predator returning from a successful hunt. In its medical bay, Dr. Lisa Harper sat beside Captain Veltar as human doctors treated his wounds. The alien captain was healing, but his eyes showed a different kind of damage. He had seen things that would haunt him forever. "Your people saved us," Veltar said quietly. "But I think we would have been safer with the Korthak." Lisa did not know what to say. The rescue had been successful. All the surviving researchers were safe aboard the human warship, but the cost of their salvation was becoming clear. The galaxy had witnessed human warfare, and nothing would ever be the same. Major Rick Stone entered the medical bay with a final report. His skull-painted face had been cleaned, but his eyes still held the cold light of a killer. "We are ready to depart." "The system, Doctor. Where would you like us to take your companions?" "The nearest Federation station is 3 days away," Lisa replied. "That works for our schedule," Rick said. "We have other business to attend to." Lisa did not ask what that business might be. She had learned not to ask too many questions about human military operations. The answers were usually disturbing. As the ship jumped to faster-than-light speed, Lieutenant Kate Williams visited the rescued prisoners. She carried a data pad with information she had extracted from the captured Korthak officers. The intelligence was valuable, but the methods used to obtain it had broken the minds of proud warriors. "We learned many interesting things," Kate told Lisa. "The Korthak were planning to attack 17 different worlds over the next 2 years. 3 of those targets were human colonies." "What will you do with this information?" Veltar asked. Kate smiled. "We will visit each of those worlds and have conversations with the local Korthak commanders. After today, I think those conversations will be very productive." The alien captain shuddered. He was beginning to understand that the battle at Keth 7 was not the end of human involvement in galactic affairs. It was the beginning of something much larger and more terrifying. During the 3-day journey, Lisa spent time talking with the human crew. She tried to understand how her own species had become such efficient killers. The soldiers spoke casually about tactics that would horrify other species. They discussed psychological warfare, assassination techniques, and weapons designed to cause maximum terror. "Why do you fight this way?" she asked Rick during one conversation. "Because it works," he replied simply. "Earth taught us that the universe is not a safe place. Everything wants to kill you. The only way to survive is to be more dangerous than anything else out there." "But we are civilized now," Lisa protested. "We have left those primitive days behind." Rick laughed, but there was no humor in the sound. "Doctor, civilization is a thin layer of paint over humanity's true nature. When threatened, we become what we always were, the deadliest hunters in the galaxy. The aliens are just now figuring that out." On the 2nd day of the journey, they received a message from Earth. Admiral Morrison's face appeared on the main screen, his expression serious but satisfied. "Mission accomplished, Major Stone," the Admiral said. "Intelligence reports indicate that Korthak fleets throughout the galaxy are retreating to defensive positions. Your demonstration was very effective." "What about the political situation?" Rick asked. 17 species have requested emergency meetings with Earth's government," Morrison replied. "They want to discuss mutual defense treaties. It seems everyone wants to be friends with the humans now." Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. Fear was driving galactic politics now. Her distress call had not just saved the research team, it had announced humanity's presence as the dominant military power in known space. The rescued alien researchers spent most of the journey huddled together in their quarters. They spoke in whispers about what they had witnessed. The gentle Morvek could not understand how any species could be so casually violent. The Thurlan philosophical discussions were filled with questions about the nature of evil. Captain Veltar asked Lisa the question that had been troubling him since the rescue. How do we tell our people about this? How do we explain that humans are not just dangerous, but necessary? I do not know, Lisa admitted. Maybe we should not tell them everything. But keeping the truth hidden would be impossible. The survivors of the Korthak fleet were already spreading stories throughout their empire. Tales of invisible human soldiers who killed without mercy, ships that could appear and disappear at will, weapons that turned proud warriors into whimpering children. The stories would grow with each telling. Soon, every species in the galaxy would hear about the battle at Keth 7. Some would be inspired to seek alliance with Earth. Others would begin developing defenses against human technology. A few might even consider preemptive strikes against humanity. On the third day, they reached the Federation station. It was a peaceful place, built by species who had never known real war. The alien researchers were transferred to medical facilities where they could recover from their ordeal. But Lisa knew they would carry psychological scars for the rest of their lives. As she prepared to leave the Iron Vengeance, Rick gave her a final message. Doctor, your distress call changed everything. The galaxy now knows what humans are capable of. Some will see us as saviors. Others will see us as monsters. Both views are correct. Lisa nodded. She understood the weight of what had happened. Her desperate plea for help had unleashed humanity upon the stars. The consequences would echo for generations. The Iron Vengeance departed the station, heading toward its next mission. Kate Williams had identified 12 Korthak outposts that needed to be visited. Each one would receive a demonstration of human military capabilities. By the time they were finished, the Korthak Dominion would exist only in history books. Lisa returned to Earth on a Federation transport ship. During the long journey, she wrote her report about the events at Keth 7. She tried to explain how desperate they had been, how certain of death. She described the human rescue as necessary and justified, but she also wrote about the cost. The casual brutality, the psychological torture, the cold efficiency of human killers. She warned that humanity's entrance onto the galactic stage would change everything. The age of peaceful cooperation between species was ending. The age of human dominance was beginning. When she reached Earth, Admiral Morrison was waiting for her. His first question was not about her health or the alien researchers. He wanted to know about galactic reaction to the battle. They are terrified, Lisa told him honestly. Every species in known space is reconsidering their relationship with Earth. Good, Morrison replied. Fear will keep them peaceful. The Korthak expansion is finished. Other aggressive species will think twice before threatening human interests. Lisa realized that the rescue mission had been planned this way. Her distress call had given Earth's military exactly what they needed, an excuse to demonstrate human power. She had been used as bait to draw the Korthak into a trap. Did you know this would happen when you sent the Iron Vengeance? She asked. Morrison's smile was cold. Doctor, we have been waiting for an opportunity like this for years. Your message gave us the perfect excuse to show the galaxy what we are capable of. The age of human isolation is over. In the months that followed, the galaxy adapted to its new reality. Trade routes were rerouted to avoid human space. Diplomatic protocols were rewritten to account for humanity's military superiority. Species that had never considered war began building weapons to defend against a threat they barely understood. The Korthak Dominion collapsed within a year. Their warriors, once feared throughout the galaxy, refused to fight an enemy that could appear from nowhere and kill without mercy. Their empire fragmented into dozens of smaller territories, each one desperate to avoid human attention. Dr. Lisa Harper returned to her research, but she was forever changed by her experience. She had called for help in a moment of desperation, and help had come. But the price of salvation was the innocence of the galaxy. Late at night, she would sometimes wonder what would have happened if she had never sent that distress call. Would the galaxy be a more peaceful place? Would countless species still live without fear? But then she would remember the Korthak prison cells and the terror in alien eyes. She would think about Captain Veltar and the other researchers who were alive because humans had answered her call. The galaxy was a darker place now, but it was also safer. The predators from Earth had taken their place at the top of the food chain. No species would ever again face extinction without hope of rescue. The message had been sent and received. Humanity was no longer hiding in the shadows of space. They had announced their presence to the galaxy in the most brutal way possible. The age of human dominance had begun.